There's always the question of why Harry's body language changed so much after the royal wedding. And I think I found the exact moment when his attitude switched from happy to, well, whatever he is now, and Meghan knew that she got it made. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and it will be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. This change happened during Bishop Michael Curry's sermon at their wedding. And by the way, I should make a video about the reactions of everyone else. But I want to focus in these two moments, at the beginning of the sermon and near the end of the sermon. This is the first image, and I suggest that you take a good look at it. To make things easier, we're going to focus on a single instant without using video this time. My best suggestion when you're analyzing people's body language is to try to calm your mind, because we usually have so many things going in our heads, and I don't mean things like Camila's hat, but actual turmoil and internal self-arguments. So you have to do your best in just letting your mind flow around what you're perceiving. In this case, we have a few ingredients of body language: Harry's facial expression, Meghan's facial expression, their posture, and how are they holding hands. Harry's expression at the start of Bishop Curry's sermon is of a very soft and serene smile. I'm always mentioning that you should pay attention at how the eyebrows raise or how the nose wrinkles, but it's also important to notice when a face is relaxed. Even if the footage we have is not top quality or the person that you're watching is far away from you. It's not hard to feel that Harry at that moment is serene and even happy. His facial expression really reminds me of the Mona Lisa, don't you think? In fact, it's the same contrast of the famous painting between the facial expression and the fact that the head is totally upright. That is a sign of being alert, and it could also be for good reasons. Maybe he was actually enjoying the words of Bishop Curry. But what about Meghan? There's quite a difference in here. As usual, my best recommendation is that you try to mimic the facial expression that you're trying to analyze. And at that exact moment, you'll notice what's wrong here. Her eyes are pretty much emotionless. There's almost no smile contraction in them. Maybe her left eye has a hint of a smile, but if you focus on her right eye and discard everything else, you'll notice that it has no signs of being part of a smile. Any genuine smile is always going to manifest in the whole face, with both the mouth and the eyes working in a symmetrical way. Maybe someone could suffer from Bell's palsy and have an asymmetrical smile, but Meghan doesn't suffer from that. Now, I suggested that you try to mimic her expression, but her expression is focused in her mouth, and that is the only true feature that we can spot. Let's do this exercise. Smile until you tense your cheeks, keeping your eyes relaxed, and at the same time try to show your upper teeth so slightly. I must say that I tried to do it and I couldn't. Again, I felt like an android trying to find out how to do that thing humans do when they're happy. But it's not like Meghan is an android, but maybe she was anxious or nervous or upset about something. That's absolutely possible at a wedding. And under this kind of stress or anxiety, we could show really wacky faces because we are not comfortable. So at this point, Harry was serene and even joyful, and Meghan was nervous and tense. What is the other signal that we needed to spot? Yes, the hand holding. At the start of Bishop Curry's sermon, Harry was covering Meghan's hand. I've mentioned in other times that the hand that is over signals protection and possession. There is also a bit of a custom that the man rests his hand over the woman's, just by the difference in size. And there's a difference in size between Harry and Meghan, especially in the push for world domination department. But at this point, it still was your regular wedding dynamics when a couple can display that mix of joy and nervousness and excitement and wanting to run away as fast as you can, like so many women feel like at that event of their lives. But not our Meghan, no. Now, what happened near the end of the sermon? In this case, we can see that Harry had already went through full transformation. Do you remember that joyful, smiling, charismatic Harry from scenes long lost in time? He was already gone. I don't think he was bored or upset by Bishop Curry's sermon, because that sermon was really good. And I can't think of someone that could get bored or feel down with so much energy that he was projecting onto everyone over those 10 minutes. Well, Zara Tindall was certainly blown away. But somehow Harry did not have the same posture like in the beginning. And he not only let his head fall forward, but the smile had gone away from his face too. Of course, this was a gradual change. This didn't happen in a split second. Now, what was Meghan's face at that exact moment? Let's take a good look at her face and try to calm down your thoughts once again. You'll notice that her tense expression that we couldn't even mimic correctly without our face having muscle cramps, now it is a face of being in control. This expression really caught my attention because it's a great example of how a complex facial emotion is composed of very subtle differences in all the areas of the face. Because at first sight, you could affirm that this is just a smile. But I mentioned that a smile has to be symmetrical to be genuine. In Meghan's case, there are very subtle differences between her brows. Her right brow is a bit more raised than her left one. At the same time, her left lip corner is a bit more raised or pulled back than her right one. It's not that hard to try to mimic that expression. Go ahead, raise your right eyebrow a bit and raise your left lip corner a bit. I know, it's easy to make a mess out of it and end up looking like a drunken Austin Powers, but you might have already realized that this is a very sleazy smirk. Again, you should always be aware if a person's facial expression is not part of their baseline or their common body language that they use and show all the time. For example, in Natalie Dormer's case, she usually displays that exact same body language quirk, especially when she's posing for the cameras. In her case, she raises her left eyebrows and pulls the opposite lip corner. Again, that is a normal trait for her, and one that works very well with her face structure to show an interesting smirk. But this is much less common in Meghan, so that's how we know we are looking at an spontaneous facial expression. Yeah, the expression of "I got this." And of course, there was a change in the way they were holding hands. And I know you were expecting this. Yeah, the Markle claw. Now her hand is on top with a stiff wrist. That is a gesture of domination and power. Harry, at the same time, is fiddling with his fingers, something that he usually does when he feels nervous or threatened. We have seen this body language displays so many times, but it's still incredible to watch them unfold over such a short period of time in both their facial displays, their posture, and how they were holding hands. This is not much of a surprise, but at the same time, it's an organized way that you can apply to observe and analyze anyone, especially if it's a couple and you have to watch both of them at the same time. Because in those mutual interactions is where you'll be able to get the more intimate details of their personalities and relationship. If you want to refine your observation skills, all you have to do is download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and it will always be a pleasure, my body language buddies. Much love and bliss.